Hey there, it's David H. Lawrence the 17th, and as the title says, you will never believe who got rejected by Harvard and what an awesome thing it was that he was rejected by Harvard. I'm talking about Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, as a kid, applied at Harvard. He went and met the area person that talks to potential matriculators for Harvard in Chicago. He was living in Omaha, has done his whole life. And they basically said, yeah, no, you don't have what it takes. You don't have what it takes. And right about that time, I mean, he felt awful. He had to go home and tell his parents. He went to Chicago for no reason. They rejected him. But at the time, he had already started learning about finances and investing and money management and saw that the father of value investing, David Dodd, and another big luminary in that space, Benjamin Graham, actually were teaching at Columbia. And here's what he did. First of all, he'd read the book. The book is called Security Analysis. And he wrote a note that said, "Dear Professor Dodd, I thought you guys were dead. But now I found out that you're alive and teaching at Columbia. I would really like to come." And they admitted him. And, you know, he said they were incredible in terms of a teacher. They were so inspiring together. He said it was like learning baseball from somebody who was batting 400. It shaped his professional life. And so, you know, what it drove home for me was, even though you may find that a door that you really wanted to be open was closed in your face or was never opened at all, another door, another opportunity, another path is going to reveal itself, and you never know what's going to happen. It could be even better than what would have happened had you gotten what you originally thought was so importantly necessary to have happen. Happened to me. And I'll tell you this story. I may tell you this story again, but my very first booking in the world of on-camera performance was as the puppet master on Heroes. And it wasn't supposed to be. 2 years earlier, I don't know how, I got booked on a show for Showtime, and the casting director called me. She didn't know who my agent was because I didn't have an agent. I don't even know how I got the audition. I think somebody recommended me, and I was so green then, I didn't have an agent. And she called and she said, "Okay, you got it. Who's your agent?" I said, "I don't have an agent." She said, "All right, well then, here's what we're offering. Is that okay with you?" And I'm like, "Sure. I don't know. When do we start? Like next Thursday?" And she's like, "Oh, no. Tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. You're on set." And I said, "Well, I can't do that. I have a prior commitment. I have a student film that I had committed to, and the student film was my scenes were only going to be able to be shot because the student involved had contacted a traveling carnival that was coming to town, was setting up. They weren't going to be ready to open until 1:00 in the afternoon, but at the very same time, 6:30 in the morning, we could shoot for the first, 6 or 8 hours that they were there and already set up, but just not open yet. So I said, I don't know what to do. And she goes, "Well, here's what you do. You cancel the student film and you take this. This is like what you want to do, right? This is the big..." And I'm like, "I got to call the student." She goes, "Okay, call me back." So I called the student. I told him what was going on. He goes, "Dude, if you bail on me, I'm totally screwed. This is my only shot." And so I called her back and I said, I can't do it. And she was really mad. She said things akin to, "You'll never work in this town ever again," for me. And I'm like, I hadn't worked in this town to begin with. So, and it turns out we ended up becoming very good friends. And when she found out this story, she was very happy for me. Okay. So in this student film, I play a carnival or circus ringmaster. And, it kind of reminds me of Jim Broadbent. The character I was playing reminds me of Jim Broadbent in Moulin Rouge, with the mascara and the guy liner and the rouge, and so I played this creepy ringmaster that had a little bit of an accent, Um, and as I was shooting that Friday morning, I thought to myself a number of times, what have I done? I mean, the student was great, and he was a real auteur. We actually won some awards with the film. But I thought, what have I done? I was supposed to do, my goal here is to become an on-camera actor, and I had a terrific opportunity to break. This is one of those really awesome Showtime shows that was very, very deep and dark. And anyway, so I'm thinking about this, and I just let it go, and it was great. And again, the film ended up winning a couple of film festivals, and so fast forward 2 years later, and I get this opportunity to audition for Heroes. And when I go to the audition, I see all these people that are very recognizable, but I'm not. I'm like, I'm like the odd duck here. And I thought to myself at the time, okay, they're looking for like a dark horse. They're just looking for something different. And then I booked it. And then about 8 months or 9 months later, the wrap party in March of the following year for that season, I'm sitting there with the casting people, and we were chatting, and just out of the blue, Jason says, "Hey, Natalie, you want to tell him why we brought him in for the audition?" And she said, "Because you really creeped us out with one of the scenes in your reel. You played some ringmaster or something. You were really creepy, and we thought, oh, maybe he'll make a great puppet master. Who knows? We figured we'd take a flyer on." So think about that. Had I not done that, maybe I still would have gotten the opportunity to work on Heroes. But if I hadn't kept my word, and I hadn't kept that appointment, and I hadn't pissed off that other, is pissed off okay for work? Safe for work? I don't know. That other casting director, I might never have gotten the opportunity to do the role that changed my life. So again, one door closes, or you close the door, or you keep a door that you had open. The variations are incredibly immense, and you never know what that other opportunity is going to provide. Has that ever happened to you? Maybe you were going to take a job and you decided to take another one and it turned out really well, or maybe you were going to go out with someone you didn't want to, and then turns out it was awesome. You met your soulmate. If you have an example like this, wherever you're seeing this video, give me a comment below. I'd really like you to comment on VO2GoGo. And if you want to send people to see these videos, please have them go to vo2gogo.com. That's where I really would like to gather as many. I mean, but I know you're going to leave comments on YouTube and whatnot. Whatever it is, leave me a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are in this whole serendipitous thing and the Buffett story. He did pretty well for himself, not going to Harvard, being rejected by Harvard. If you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, go ahead and click on my head there. If there's no head there, then find a subscribe button somewhere on the page you're watching this video. There will be one. If you want to see the last video that I just uploaded, go ahead and click on that frame there. It'll take you to YouTube. They'll play it for you. If you don't see a frame there, again, look for something on the page that lets you do that. I'm David H. Lawrence, the 17th, and I really appreciate you watching these videos, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.